Alright, we're doing post-con for this one because my mic failed in the moment. So this was Dynasty, week 4 against S. Murphy, or Smurfy, I don't know how he pronounces it. But the plan for this match was simple. It was Dawnwing's sweep. Looking at his team, a Scarf Dawnwings outsped everything but like max speed, timid, um, kill watchel. So I'm like, okay, if it's not max speed timid, which I was doubting it would be max speed timid, because why would you max speed timid against the Trick Room team? Um, so I felt pretty good going into this matchup. We see his team, and I like my first thing is like, okay, I know what I'm doing, right? I'm doing Necrozma, I'm doing DD. But I also noticed that he doesn't have anything for Torkoal. Like, Blossom Torkoal sweeps this team. Like, he has no Torkoal counter at all. Like, his Torkoal counter is his Arceus Dragon. So I kind of identify that and I'm like, okay, we'll stick with, you know, the plan, but we're gonna bring Torkoal. And after, like, know what, fuck, why bring Torkoal, right? I can, instead of like showing him the Trick Room mode, I'm just gonna go full speed, right? But this is where I'm debating, like, do I back out and just go like Torkoal Blossom in the back instead of the Sneasler and DD? I decided to just like stick with my strategy going into the game before changing it for no reason. Now, I made a few mistakes in the set that are pretty obvious, but, you know, off lead, I was kind of just expecting Arceus off lead. But you have a Kilo and Gambit. If you look at his team, Gambit's the only thing that stopped Psy Spam. And by stop saying, like, just even resist it. Like, nothing else on his team can really deal with the Psy Spam. So, I was kind of debating, like, do I just click Expanding Force, follow me, and just, you know, go off? And after I just decided, no, what, no, I should really focus on just getting rid of this Gambit. I have Heat Wave for that reason. Follow me is just the safest move. Now, this was a mistake. First things first, I figured out the kill watch was timid, which is good to know. The crit did not matter. Like, also it's shit, but, you know, whatever. I'm like, okay, so crit, or the kill watch was timid. And then I figured out I could have just helping hand Heat Waved and just won. Not like won this, but like, it would have put me in such a great spot. Instead, Indeedee will go down. I can still, like, this is not game over or anything like horrible, right? Indeedee technically has done its job. Especially now because I can bring in the Sneasler. But like, knowing that it's timid, such good information for later. But like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I could have just helping handed and won the game. Sneasler comes in, Unburden, Psychic Seed, Sneasler, boosting the special defense, which is phenomenal in this matchup. And then I get to do my favorite thing, cooking Cryo moves and Psychic Terrain. I didn't think about, like, I was really hoping that I was on autopilot, I'm not gonna lie. So I click Fake Out into the Kill Watchel, and then for a half second I'm like, wait a minute, that was dumb. Until I remember, Kill Watchel's a flying type, Fake Out works. This is nice and easy. For a half second there, I was also scared of Sucker Punch until I remembered Psychic Terrain was down, and that Necrozma does not count as a levitating Pokemon. So I was safe. But here I'm like, okay, I should just pick up both kills. But he protects the Gambit, which was, you know, the right play. You don't want me to pick up 2 kills here and take the Pokemon advantage, but, you know, Fake Out hits. And then all I need is Heat Wave not to miss. And for once, Heat Wave doesn't miss. Oh, did it miss this one? Oh, it did miss this one. Yeah, that was the next one. Luckily for me, this Heat Wave wasn't awful to miss. If anything, it somewhat helped. Because now I get to pick up a double kill guaranteed. Right, I can kill the killer before it does anything. And then this Heat Wave can't miss. And this one was simple, right? Because if anything, that gives, like, I'd rather miss that Heat Wave because of the fact that I now have Pokemon advantage in the back. So he has 2 left, I have 3. I got to kill 2 things on 1 turn. Nice and simple. And this one we get to see what's in the back. So like, obviously I knew Arceus Dragon was going to be in the back. I was not scared of this Arceus. I was kind of debating where it was going to be physical or special. I was going towards the fact that it was going to be physical Arceus. And then he reveals the Flutter as well. And I see Booster special attack Flutter. and I got excited because 9 times out of 10 when I play Flutter mains with Trick Room, for some reason all of them still do booster speed. I don't know why, but for once he actually goes booster special attack, which then tells me he has absolutely nothing for Torkoal. And I know my Necrozma outspeeds the Flutter main now. If it was booster speed, this matchup would have been a lot harder. Still possible, just a lot harder. Now, my lock-in was easy here. I was debating on switching out Necrozma, but honestly, it's done its job. And I was scared of Terra Steel on something, like, later on, like, after I switched out. But I learned something on this turn. So I Terra Steel my own Sneasler, because in my head, I'm against a Dragon and a Fairy type, so just Terra Steel. I didn't really want to Terra Psychic Necrozma. It wouldn't have done anything. It doesn't help in a situation like this. And then I see a Terra. I forgot that even though Arceus... Like, I'm like, okay, obviously Arceus can Terra. What I didn't know is that Judgment changes type based off Terra. For some reason, I thought it would stay the type of the plate. Now, this was a pretty easy thing here, right? You just click the Dire Claw on the Flutter. Flutter, pretty bulky, was able to take it. And then Heat Wave just picks up Flutter and does nothing into Arceus. Which scares me. And then it was Terra Ground Earth Power. And I just got pooped. But, do a Psychic Seed, which I didn't calc, but you know, do the Psychic Seed, we live. And then we just clean up this turn. So at this point, I'm just thinking game 2, right? What are we going to do differently? I got very lucky because it didn't kill, and he revealed Calm Mind, which then guaranteed, you know, it's like, okay, so it's a setup Arceus. I have no clue what Arceus does at all, so seeing that it's set up was super helpful. And then also Psychic Shrine goes away, and with a bit of stat padding here, Necrozma gets killed. a bit of protect, a stat pad. And that's game 1. So, the first thing I thought was, Gambit is the issue of this team. Like now that I know that Flutter is guaranteed booster special attack, the problem Pokemon on this team is the King Gambit. I feel like he's going to lead it again. I don't think he's going to let me click Expanding Force on turn 1. That's a very bold move. But he also could have like Tailwind on Kilowattrel. And then that puts me in a horrible spot because he's going to outspeed, get Tailwind up, and hit Necrozma. Forces they follow me. So I basically said, no, I feel pretty confident in this matchup. I think I can get away with Torkoal Blossom right now. I know that Blossom's bulky enough to take an Air Slash, and Torkoal is going to murder this team, right? Because the only thing that can take the Eruption is Arceus, and if I can trade two Pokemon and good damage on Arceus for a Torkoal, that's a great trade. And this was kind of just me like, okay, do I want to actually go for it? And at this moment, I realize that he's probably going to switch leads. He's probably not going to lead. You know, I'm assuming that he might even lead Necrozma against me. But I just said, no, fuck it, let's just do it. Right, let's use the Torkoal. There was just one massive issue. I was drafting during this match. This was during the SPDA draft, so I was in the process of drafting. It was currently my pick. So while the game was loading, I opened my phone, made my selection, and didn't think nothing of it. Okay? Pokemon come out. I look up at my, I look up and I see Kilowattrel Superior, and I said, sick. And you can see, like, I'm not even touching my controller. I'm currently drafting. And I'm like, oh, sick. Torkoal gets to, like, crush this lead. I don't even think. Don't need to think. This is a Terrafire Eruption in an After You. The issue is Torkoal didn't have Drought. For some reason, Torkoal was White Smoke. I checked my paste after the match, and It did say drought, so it was the correct one on the paste. It was just the wrong one in game. Murphy just took advantage of it. I can't blame him. And yep, Terra Stellar. And at this point, I still don't know Sun is up. Or Sun is not up. So I'm like, Terra Stellar, he's wasted a Terra. Torkoal's still gonna murder that. And so, you know, my Terra Fire comes out. And I'm still, like, you know, pretty confident. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. And it was just really, really unfortunate. And I wish my reaction was here when I saw Terra Blast come out. Into my now Terra Stellar Torkoal. Or into my now Terra Fire Torkoal, so now it's a super effective attack. Now I'm at 17 HP, and now he gets Tailwind off. And don't worry, after you did come out still. And now I did, like, negligible damage. So, at this point, I realized I've lost. So now I have two goals in a game like this where I'm like, okay, there's a very little chance of me coming back. I want to get as much info as possible. I also want to, Dynasty works different. Dynasty is not round diff, it's mon diff. So I want to make this a 1-0, right? Those are my two goals. Get a 1-0 and make this, get as much info as possible, right? The first thing is Superior probably Scarfed. Superior outsped a Kilowattrel, so I'm assuming it's probably Scarfed. At this point I'm just kind of tilted, so I click Sleep Powder into the Superior. Also not expecting Blossom would take the Air Slash that's coming at me, Wind Power boosted by the way. So I'm okay, Scarfed, Superior, you know, max speed, timid, Kilowattrel. I know kind of what's happening now. Now it's just like get to a point where I can get a 1-0. For me, that means I have to bring up the Necrozma here. I have no choice, even in Tailwind. Which means I'm gonna have to take some hits, which is, you know, okay. Necrozma's not like frail. In the medium, I'm like, okay, I have to lock into Heatwave here. I can't risk a Gambit switching. So my idea is just, you know what, click Heatwave, switch him, D&D, get the Psychic Terrain up, and keep Blossom alive. Because in my head, if I have Blossom alive in the back, even if Indeedee dies this turn, I can switch out Heatwave for like if I ever need to lock into like Earth Power, or if I'm allowed to lock into Expanding Force this game, I can do that. Necrozma takes a +2 Terra Blast very, very well. And I'm pretty sure did it also eat the air, and no, he switched targets, the Air Slash went into the Indeedee, and I got Heatwave off. You know, kill the Superior, and power up the Kilowattrel more. I also came to the realization that without Dawn Wings, I can't beat the Gambit this game. I have a Blossom with Solar Beam that's its Omi attack, and then Indeedee with Omi has Psychic, so I cannot kill King Gambit. Luckily, he brought it out early, so I was able to take advantage of it. Now, I'm like, okay, do I switch out? Do I start, like, kind of messing around a bit? My idea here was get out of the attack, because I know that I'm not Oko and Gambit, and I was scared that Air Slash could kill Indeedee. So I just switched out. Sack the Blossom. It's useless, right? Get rid of it. In return for the sack, get a Psychic off. Now, luckily, he put the Electro Web, which would have been very bad if I stayed in. But it also made it that I got to proc Berry very easily. And my plan worked. Counter Cleave goes into Blossom. If I stayed in there, I would have been cooked. Because then Gambit had a chance to outspeed me. Psychic, so Indeedee does pick up its singular kill. And now he has to bring an Arceus. So technically here, I have two options. I can lock into Heatwave, or I can lock into Earth Power. Heatwave is nice because I don't have to deal with Protects, right? The issue with walking into Heat Wave is I'm doing nothing to Arceus. I will lose that 1v1 guaranteed. So I kind of determined that I need to walk into Earth Power. He's already used his Terra. I can't walk into Expanding Force because I need this Gambit dead. So I can't really click Trick Room because their Tailwind is about to end. So my idea now is, again, make this a 1-0. So follow me and try to take out this Gambit. Nice little Earth Power. Does a lot. He clicks Calm Mind, which is kind of like sealing the game, because now I can't kill this Arceus without crits. And then Gambit is just able to take a free shot into my Indeedee and pick up the kill. So I'm trying to get as much info as possible so I know, like, okay, it's Calm Mind, it's Earth Power. So okay, well, you know, that should be fine. Calm Mind, Earth Power, it's probably Judgment, and I haven't seen Protect yet. But, you know, in my head, I'm like, it's probably Protect. The Gambit, I know, is Kowtow Cleave, and it shows Protect here. I take that as a win. All I need to do is survive one move. If I can survive this move coming at me right now, we're set. And in the end, he ends up clicking Calm Mind again, which just helps my diff a little, which means I know I get my 1-0 now. Which is super helpful for my, you know, differential. I was also debating, he offered if I wanted to, you know, switch Torkoal to Drought. I said no, because I do believe, like, you know, especially in, like, a game 2, if you mess up like that, you just kind of have to deal with it. Right, you mess up, just deal with it. Sure, it means I'm only going to be playing with 4 Pokemon, but that's fine. Get it right, you know, it's not the first time that I've only been using 4. So my game 3 plan is very simple. Just do what I did game 1, but execute better, right? The first thing that comes to my head is that if he leads Wattrel again, or the kill Wattrel and the Gambit, I am free to Helping Hand and Heat Wave. I don't think Gambit in Tailwind outspeeds me as a Scarf Necrozma. I just didn't think it would happen. I didn't see him bringing anything else again. Right? We know Superior gets murdered by Necrozma. It being Scarfed is helpful, but it will still get murdered by a Heat Wave, so I don't think he's going to bring it back. I knew exactly what I was doing. There was no thought in my head that I was changing. And then I'm like, does he bring Flutter again? Right? I was kind of debating. I'm like, he might not bring Flutter. He might be bringing, like, Kill Wattrel, Gambit, Arceus, and maybe the Mamo. But the Flutter main was just so bad. And the fact that special attack against my Scarf does not help it. Also, it can't click Shadow Ball safely due to Indeedee. He does switch up his leads, and this is where I kind of forgot that Mamo isn't super slow. I think it's like base 80 speed. It's a mid-speed mon. For some reason, I thought it was like base 50, base 40 speed. I thought it was like an Ursaluna. So I just did what my original plan was in game 1. Helping Hand, Expanding Force, go Burr. So I Terra into Psychic. The other thing with Terra Psychic is it takes away my 4 times weakness to Dark and Ghost and just makes it a 2 times weakness. And with Prison Armor, I can take a Dark move. So I click Helping Hand, and I'm gonna hope that he doesn't click Tailwind. Right, that was kind of my hope, and he did. So I'm like, oh, this might be bad if I don't outspeed Mamo. Because I know Mamo gets knockoff. And it does, and it did. Necrozma took that so incredibly well. He got rid of Scarf, which is now actually a phenomenal thing, because I can put Trick Room if I want to. I get a big Expanding Force off, which is where we revealed that Kill Wattrel was sashed. So it's kind of like, okay, I know where the sash is now. That's fine. It would have made game 2 if I had Sun a bit harder. So like I'm not as mad about my game, you know, my game 1 issue, or my game 2 issue with not having Sun on Torkoal now. Again, still boosts your special attack. And in my head, I'm like, he's probably switching into Gambit here. But then my first thought is, wait, he doesn't have Gambit. He didn't bring it. With Fluttermane showing here, means he didn't bring Gambit, Arceus in the back. So now I'm not scared to keep clicking Expanding Force. He didn't bring his thing that stops the Expanding Force. So a quick follow me. I eat the Air Slash. No crit that time. And the Mystical Fire attack was nice. I, dropped a special attack on the Necrozma, except, this time I redirected it. And now I get a Terra Psychic Expanding Force off, and I'm like, oh, this is probably a double kill. And yes, Necrozma did Necrozma things without needing the redirect. At this point, I'm like, okay, I've won. We're good, right? There's no way. It's Terra Dragon, or it's Dragon Arceus that can Terra Ground. So if he wants to Terra Ground it, I bring in a Meowscarada, I click Flower Trick, it dies. If he doesn't Terra Ground it, then I bring in Meowscarada, I play rough, it dies. So this, in this case doesn't Terra Ground, I quick follow me, just keep Necrozma safe. And then I see Air Slash, which, again, didn't know this thing got. Air Slash is a sick tech into my team due to, my flying type weakness of my Tailwind core, or I guess the old one, because we rebuilt, got some new team members. And then just quick follow me, Expanding Force again, win the game. I was very happy with this set. There's the Judgment. I feel like I messed up game 2, but still played well to make it not catastrophic. Being able to pull it back a little bit. And then, yeah, also Necrozma does its show. So we are now 2-2 in Dynasty because I lost to Ted last week. That recording was not happening because my fear was getting fixed. I lost that in a close game 3 with Roy Moon living on 1 health. But yeah, GG's to S. Murphy. Until next time.